Sonny and Lydia, welcome. I listened to your last night and I was truly impressed by the decisions you have taken and the courage you have shown to speak the truth to power. Now, around the scandal of the textbook crisis in Limpopo, Sonny, you took a very important decision. And maybe you should just explain to me and to the audience, what was your job in the Limpopo Department of Education, and what made you take the certain decisions that blew the whistle on corruption within that department?
Thanks, Jay. My job in the Department of Education was, I was responsible for managing the whole departmental budget. Until I was appointed as acting CFO, which meant that areas like budget, supply chain, management and expenditure, I had to control it. But that was the work that I was doing all my life, because I started working in government around 2000 when I joined the provincial treasury in Mpumalanga. And one of my responsibilities was to implement the Public Finance Management Act from then. And what I have seen from Mpumalanga going to Limpopo was the misuse of government resources, which I thought, because previously when we fought against the apartheid, I thought when we got our freedom, we are going to make sure that the resources must be used to deliver services to the people. But unfortunately, it was not, and that was my struggle, even from the Mpumalanga even to Limpopo Department of Education.
Now, what was the thing that started your concern about the fact that there was something wrong in the Department of Education in Limpopo?
You know, when I arrived, the supply chain management unit was not working properly. You could see when they request quotations, and you could see that most of the time those quotations were manipulated, even before I came the acting CFO. Most of the time you will have to say, we can't buy. When they are asking for a quotation, for example, for a workshop, you find that they are prepared to pay for a plate of meal, 95 rand a meal, which you can even get it for 35 rand. And those were the things that one was seeing on a day-to-day basis. And when one was getting worried to say, but we can't allow a situation like this to happen. Otherwise, we will be going to be labeled like in other African countries where they got their freedom, but instead of utilizing their resources to empower their own people, leaders were only empowering themselves. And that was the struggle that I told myself that we need to continue with it, because otherwise, if we told ourselves that the freedom is there, and then we are wrong. Yes.
So the textbooks thing, where did it start?
The textbook started when I was acting, and when I was acting, the HOD wanted to outsource this function. That's where the disagreement started. Because I told him, HOD, yes, if you're saying there's a problem with this, we can outsource it. But before we do that, we need to do the cost-benefit analysis. That will inform us whether there will be any benefit if we outsource this function or not. Unfortunately, we did not, and the HOD decided to continue on his own until the preferred bidder was submitted to me to implement, and from there I refused. I said, I'm not going to implement a decision which is going to take away millions from government.
Now, the issue of textbooks and the corruption within the department has very real consequences for parents like yourself, Lydia. You took a very courageous decision. You are the chair of a school governing board. Maybe just explain a bit about where did you come from, why did you feel so strongly about the issue of corruption and the fact that children are not receiving their textbooks?
Thank you. I came from Limpopo as a chairperson of the school governing body, which is called Rutangare Primary School. which is in Rufure 1, near Toyando. And the problem to me came when my child came back and want to be helped with her homework. And when I asked her the book to refer, she told me that she don't have a textbook. Then I asked her, how am I going to help you without the textbook? What happened? And she told me that teacher said there is not textbook at all right now. And I go to the school as a chairperson and investigate about the textbooks. And I asked the teachers and the principal about the delivery of the textbook. And they said they heard that there is no textbook. And we ordered the textbook in November, December last year. But they didn't deliver. Until now, there is no books at Rutanare Primary School.
So what is your step now?
I took the step of signing the affidavit with Section 27 to go back to court again. So we want the court to enforce those who are in charge to be faithful to our country. Until now, there is no books at Rutanare Primary School.
So what is your step now?
I took the step of signing the affidavit with Section 27 to go back to court again. So we want the court to enforce those who are in charge to be faithful to our country.
Now, the minister, and I heard this morning the officials of the department saying there is no crisis in Limpopo. All the problems have been solved. That's not your experience?
No, just because, as I'm telling the truth, I'm the one who is responsible in the school. And there is no book at all. I had others receive one box, but in Rutanare Primary School, there is no book at all.
And how does it make you feel like as a parent?
I'm feeling very much sad, just because they promised us to give us the book, whereas they ignored the order from the court. But I think they have to collect their pieces and do something.
Now, the officials this morning, I heard them saying, is that they do not believe that people should run to court. Why does Section 27 go to court? What other options did you have to get the right to education, the quality education that the Constitution guarantees to every citizen? Did you have any alternative?
As a parent and as a chairperson of the school governing body, we took the step of going to the circuit first to ask them the books. And they told us there is no books. And I was hoping that somebody else outside may help us to get the books. I came across with those of Section 27. They are not the one who go to court alone. We are the one who stood up as people, as civilians.
Yes, sorry. Now, you are the one that blew the whistle on corruption.
Correct.
Now, you got fired for that.
Yes.
What was the circumstances? What did they accuse you of?
You know, normally with government, when they want to get rid of you, they will fabricate the charges that they want. That's what exactly happened with me. They appointed a company called New Africa to do forensic audit on a number of, it was just a witch hunting investigation. And when you read those results, you can see it's whitewash reports which were produced to charge me. One of the report that they were investigating my appointment, and unfortunately I was not, it was not a new appointment because I was working in government in Malanga as a general manager. I was transferred to Limpopo Department of Education with the same benefits, no changes. But in the report they said I was regularly appointed. Even the package that I was given regularly. Those were the types of the reports that they were producing. And they were paid 4 million for that, which the money should have been used for procuring the textbooks, unfortunately.
Now, you knew when you are challenging your head of department and his political principles, that you're walking down a road of fire. You knew that?
Yes, I knew.
Why did you do it?
Unfortunately, I was involved even in the struggle before. I was arrested and detained. Therefore, that was not something new to me.
Yes.
Even when I was working in Malanga in 2005, I also blew the whistle against the HOD who was misusing government fund. Unfortunately, the MEC of Finance that time, she charged me. And I did exactly what I did even when in Limpopo, because you know that you have got government leaders. And I regard that as my obligation as a citizen of this country to make sure that if resources of government are being misused, I must be able to speak. So, despite the consequences that will come of it.
Yes, but then you did right. You did take it up to a higher level.
Yes.
What happened?
Firstly, I took it to the MEC, who did not respond. He acknowledged only one letter. Then the Premier Matala indicated that he is going to investigate. But many months expired without anything. I took it to Minister Angie, who also promised to investigate. I took to the President, the hotline, and they indicated that the matter will be investigated. Unfortunately, when the President was acting, they referred the matter back to Premier Matala, who already acknowledged my letters and indicated that he was going to investigate, and no investigation was done. But later when the Department of Education investigated, they were saying they were investigating allegations that I have submitted to the Premier Matala.
Yes.
But the outcome of that investigation indicated that all my allegations were unfounded, which likely after the implementation of the Section 100, National Treasury appointed forensic auditors now who came and did a real forensic audit.
And what did they find?
They found that all the allegations that I have raised, they were confirmed. That's why even with the Edu Solution tender, which was taking a lot of millions away from government, that tender was cancelled in April 2012.
So why haven't they given you a job back?
Unfortunately, you are dealing with a department. You know, the main reason why they wanted to get rid of me was that they wanted to show all the other government officials that if you are going to open your mouth and speak against all the things that are happening, we are going to deal with you. You will be dismissed. And you know, it's very painful to be dismissed, especially when you are dismissed and people out there, they don't know why you have been dismissed, because people will just think, no, maybe Soli was stealing, maybe Soli did something wrong. Until the public will know that the reason why you have been dismissed is what you are carrying that stigma as if you have done something wrong, and obviously to scare other employees so that they must no longer even try to speak against fraud and corruption.
So Lydia, what do you think about Soli? Do you think he did the right thing? Will people in Limpopo, ordinary people, support the position he is taking? How do they look at him and what do they think of him?
They think that Soli is a warrior. He did what is supposed to be done. And most of the people are crying of being him not employed. And as they will hear that he is going back to his job, they will congratulate him.
So, I mean, you also took some risks, because it's not easy to threaten people that are very powerful. And so, how does it make you feel? How does it make your family feel that you are taking this position to speak out about your rights that we fought for, but rights that we are not implementing because of corruption?
My family is very much supportive to me. My husband is supporting me, but being a little bit afraid of maybe the problem I will come across with. But myself, I told myself that if you are telling people the right thing, they will take it as they like, but you have to stand and fight for what is right for your children and yourself or your community.
That's fantastic. What is your message to other parents in South Africa who are facing the same situation that you face?
My message to everybody outside is that don't just sit and relax. Do something. Do something for your vote. I vote ANC. I'm not the member of ANC, but I vote ANC just in order to help them to rule this land. While there is promises like better education, while there is not doing the right thing, they told us that your vote is your voice. And now my vote is my voice now. I'm doing it in that way. So many people mustn't just sit back and just say, oh, what can we do? They will maybe threaten us or they will try to kill us. But if God do want them exposed, they will.
Thank you. Sorry, your message. What's your message to particularly people in the public service? There are many good people in the public service like you.
Yes, my message, especially to people who are working in government, you know, as a whistleblower, I'm lucky that you are able to talk to me.
Yes.
There are other whistleblowers that we can't even talk to them because they died even before the allegations that they have made were properly investigated. You remember Jimmy Mhlala and many others. But my voice is that we have an obligation as a country to make sure that we fight fraud and corruption. And we can only do that if in our own area of responsibilities, whether you are a government official, whether you're a politician, you are able to do what you are supposed to do, because the constitution of this country is very clear. There are basic rights that must be protected, like those for the children. And again, when we procure, we must procure in such a way that there's competition, there's fairness, you know. But all these things, we are not implementing them as people of this country. And my call is that from the politician to the public servants and even to the beneficiaries themselves, we must make sure that we can start fighting fraud and corruption. If we do that, then this country will be a better place. I've listened to the president this week when he was talking about the service delivery of about 18 years up to now. And I told myself that if there was no fraud and corruption, what we are seeing today, the delivery would have been 3 times what we are seeing. But because of fraud and corruption, we may even say, yes, we have delivery, but the delivery that we are seeing is not the delivery that this country would have experienced if there was no fraud and corruption. And the call is that let's all participate in this fight. Obviously, there's a price. So many people paid the price for the freedom that we have. We can talk about Solomon Matlano, Steve Biko, and many others. They have paid the price. And even today, we know we're going to pay the price if we're going to talk against evil.
Well, thank you. You know, people like you, Lydia, and you, Solly, give me hope that we will raise a new generation of leaders whose interest is solving poverty and inequality and making sure that our children have the potential to grow into productive adults and make our country successful. And I really salute the both of you for the work that you've done to expose a scandal, which is one of the worst scandals in our country because it really takes away the future of our country, which is the education of our children. So thank you for joining me here.
Thanks very much.